Hello again, and welcome back to the Kutu Classic. I'm your host Bruce, and my co-host Chama. Chama, it's been 2 weeks. I hope you're well rested.
I've not rested, boy. I have been busy with the international football, which is not usually the case, but of course, it's been a busy week for Gambian football, even though we only had one game in the international break.
Mm-hmm.
But it was it was an interesting week for Gambian football. We made it back to back to the AFCON.
Nice.
So
Second time
yeah,
in a
that was a
row.
big
Yeah,
thing.
that's good.
Yeah, with the with the Gambian players blossoming all over the world now, being like very popular and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time for Gambian football, to be honest. We are enjoying that.
Yeah, that's good. Congrats to the boys, and I hope they will get a chance to like go further this time around in the Africa Nations. Yeah, so definitely.
Yeah, that's the hope. Last time they went to the quarterfinals, and yeah, we're hoping that they go to the semifinals this time,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they have the World Cup qualifiers coming, 10 games to play. It could be possible
It's
that they will be
possible we
coming to
can
the US.
qualify. Yeah, for the
It-
first time. Yeah.
yeah, we have the group is quite optimistic group, so it's quite a good group. Even though they have some heavyweights like Ivory Coast in the group, but
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, they are not in the best of their form. So there is a hope. And, the Gambian players, the young ones coming up, like Yanko Aminte, he was exceptional on that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is some hope for Gambia.
Definitely. So we wish the boys all the luck that they need next time in the AFCON for them to make an impact. Okay, so moving on to game week 5. This is game week 5 preview. This is I'm recording on Wednesday. It's 7:26 here in the US in the morning. I think Japan, you guys have crossed over almost there. Wednesday is
Almost there.
Wednesday.
Have yes, 11:27, something like that.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so let's just jump straight into the results. It's been 2 weeks, so we just brush on the results and just talk about a few games. I think the main game here for us to talk about is probably in FPL terms is Man City Fulham 5-1 Haaland hat trick.
Yeah.
You will
I
hope,
got whooped.
yeah, I know. This is the start of the no Holland suffering, huh? So
Yeah. I was expecting it. I told you guys it will come. It's just a
yeah,
matter of one hat trick, and then I am
definitely.
bang down. Yeah, it was a
Uh,
tough one. Yeah,
mhm. Let's see.
but
Go on,
we
go
keep
on.
going.
I
I
mean,
mean, we keep going. But yeah, it was interesting. Like I was watching the game. It's one of the games. I don't want to watch the. Oh, I want to watch the Man City game so that I can jinx him a little bit. But yeah, he got the assist, and I was like, wow, that assist. And then the second half, he started, banging them goals, hat trick. But yeah, it was an interesting game. Fulham did not do badly. I think also VAR, they have not been the
yeah,
best team with
they
VAR
have
this
been
season.
all over the place, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's like they didn't make all the
Um.
progress. Last season, it was growing pains in the beginning, and then they got it right. Not right per se, but at
Mhm.
least tolerable enough. But now it's like everything is going back, and they have to start again, and they're missing all these calls. But yeah, like
Yeah.
for Haaland, the thing is, a lot of people got red arrows, even though you have him. So if you don't captain him, I mean, not if you don't triple captain him, you're definitely gonna have a red arrow because the average
Yeah.
for the game week was so high. It was at what 70, 72.
72 points. It was
Yeah,
massive.
it's
But
it
like I
was,
said,
high,
I
man.
think the game is not playing FPL right now. It's not on Haaland. It's about the 10 players you have, the
The
other
other
10 players you
players,
have.
yeah,
That is that
definitely,
is that is where you have to
yeah.
capitalize. Haaland should not. You should like this is the boring thing that I don't like about
Mm-hmm.
Haaland. Like I cannot even celebrate when he gets the points, stuff like that. You just get it because everybody get it at the end of the day.
Everybody has Haaland,
So
yeah, definitely.
like it's not fun. That it's not fun for me. And then you have him. He forces you to captain him every single week. Like
That's the thing,
it's
yeah,
kind
that's the
of
thing, yeah.
it's kind of you are built to play like that. That's why I kind of take this challenge, which is not going well so far.
I mean, but you're bold enough, yeah. So another game, I think we had 3 hat tricks this game week. Another
That was
game week
crazy,
is
right?
Burnley 2, Tottenham 5. Son
Uh-huh.
finally delivering. I think we spoke about this. I think game week 3 preview or game week 4 preview episode where we are saying
Yeah,
that if Son takes over and be like a leader
the
in
main
place
nine.
of Hurricane, yeah, we definitely get the goals. I was expecting that they will play him in the striking position sooner, so he can score
Mm-hmm.
goals. He's a good finisher, so I'm happy to see him, score the goals. Even though I didn't have him in my team, but yeah, I was happy to see him get back on the goals. Makes it more
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
for
yeah.
FPL, definitely.
Makes him more interesting. Burnley. Burnley is a very funny team. It's
Even
a
with
very funny
company,
team, to
even
be
with
honest.
company, I thought they would
Huh?
do much better, but man,
No, Company is kind of a very stubborn manager. He's very stubborn
like
as a
them.
manager. He came to the Premier League, came to the big boys. He did well in the
Yeah,
championship,
the championship, yeah.
playing good football and stuff like that, change the identity of Burnley, the way they play and stuff like that, and then come to the Premier League with low quality players and then expect to come and
Oh,
play
okay, I
ahead,
see.
like dominate teams like this. This was a recipe for disaster against Son because all the goals were like counter-attacking football over
Oh,
the top,
yeah,
top.
they,
Like they were playing so high, they were almost close to the center of the pitch, trying to like you don't have the quality of the players. Play with the quality you have, but they're gonna struggle in the league. If they don't change, I think against Man City in the first game too, they tried to take the game. They tried to go like 2-2 against Manchester City a little bit, and then that kind of backfire. When the game started, we were expecting, okay, maybe Burnley a little bit the defensive team from time, but they have completely changed. They are completely a different team now, and the manager is. I was listening to one of his, post game interviews inside the dressing room and stuff like that. He was so angry at his players because they were not doing what he asked them to do. So like he was shouting like, I'm the manager. If I tell you to attack, blah blah blah, you have to attack. Yeah. I say, okay, this guy, he's quite stubborn, to be honest. He's a good manager, but I'm not sure he's ready for the top game,
Premier
for the
League. Yeah,
top for
this is
the Premier League.
a step in level level of competition. Like you
Mm-hmm.
need the players. Like that's how you know because the players are good. It's like it's not their fault that they don't have the ability to match the other players' quality. I mean, yeah, it's. Well, we'll see if they are conceding all these goals, they might be a team to target in FPL. So we don't really care about that.
Yeah,
But
they might be a whipping boys.
of course,
Maybe
why
they
not?
maybe to his kind of thinking, okay, if you look at the balance of big teams and small teams or teams that are better and stuff like that,
Hmm.
maybe the balance is high, like it's higher. There are lesser teams more than the top teams. Maybe you have 6 or 7 top teams that maybe you will attack. So he feels maybe if he attacks the bigger teams and then attack the smaller teams, maybe then he has that identity to play to win the smaller teams. And then even though he lost the
The
games,
big teams,
some managers do things like this. They just want to keep their style of play
it's
so
consistent.
that
Yeah,
when they play against the team like of their caliber,
they will beat
they
them actually.
kind of have that muscle memory of this is the
Uh,
way we play, and that helps them to win. So maybe that's what he's doing, but so far, so
It
far, it's
hasn't
not
worked
worked out.
out for many of those teams that have been promoted to come with that kind of play. Like we saw the Leeds and them, eventually. I mean, yeah,
It caught
eventually,
up with them, right?
definitely, teams will target you for because of the way you play. Um, Let me just talk about the Arsenal Man City, Man United result. This is like the main game, the main derby for this week. I mean, talk about emotions in this game, man. It was 1 minute we are leading 2-1, and the next minute they are scoring 2 goals and making it 3-1, and the game ends. I mean, well, what is there to even say? Arsenal, you can see through the XG, they had 1.91, so they're definitely supposed to score more goals. We had the 0.91, which kind of makes sense. But VAR again, man, like honestly, and ManU right now we are not having the best of times as a club, so we'll talk about that in the fan corner. Well, anyways, I think
Yeah.
we could have done better. We most of our fans, like most of us, are moaning about what could have been with the VAR decisions and stuff like that. But I think that we could have won the game. It was for me performance wise, it was better than last season against Arsenal at their home. So I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
small positive to take towards the rest of the season. Things
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be different for us. We are trying a different style of play, which the coach wants, but it's gonna take some time. So I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
totally
Definitely.
disappointed with this game, honestly.
No, definitely. The performance wise, I think you guys performed well. Yeah, the VAR call was very close, but I think the offside was offside, in my opinion. But it was very close. And if you look at the XG, I know you mentioned the XG that Arsenal were at 1.9 and Manchester United were at
9-7.
0.9, which is 9-7. If you consider the final goal Arsenal scored, Jesus, it was a one-on-one. That was an XG of 0.5, 0.6. So that took a chunk of
Skewed them.
the
Oh, okay,
XG.
it skewed
But
them.
that was in the dead rubber when Manchester United are chasing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So on the balance scheme of things, I think the game was very balanced. And
It was
Manchester
balanced,
United really
yeah.
contained Arsenal. Of course, Arsenal dominated the ball, but Manchester United were not threatening at all. Like Arsenal goal came out of nothing. It was a set piece in the end, and it just fell to what is Declan Rice. Declan Rice took a shot, it deflected, and then the ball went in. So, but in terms of balance, it was a very good game from Manchester United. They could have won, to be honest. They could have won the game. That obviously was super, 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 super close. Unfortunately. But yeah, like you say, you should not be very disappointed with that performance. It was much better than what you have done over the past few seasons against these bigger teams, to be honest.
Yeah. Talk about a bit about your game against Aston Villa. I was surprised that you guys kept a clean sheet because Aston Villa were like touted as this, the new, attacking Unai Emery. I was like, wow, it's 3-0, man. It's quite impressive.
Yeah, the Liverpool of all is seems to be back. That not the Liverpool that win the league or anything, but it's that Liverpool where just heavy metal chaos, organized chaos. The game is gonna be chaotic, but they're gonna organize it like in that way. Liverpool love chaos, right? But they try to contain the opponents, and yeah, Aston Villa did not cause us any threat in that game, not much. Liverpool kind of plays very well in that game. Now we have a lot of legs in that middle.
Definitely.
I'm surprised how good. I'm really surprised how good Szoboszlai is as a midfielder. To be honest, he keeps improving. Like every game you watch him, you see a better player. Every single time you watch him, and then other players are coming in and they are doing well. Players like Joe Gomez, he was one of the best players in that game. He was supposed to be the man of the match in that game. Joel Matip, they all defended very well in the back. Trent was back to his best, making passes left, right, and center. Even though he's injured now, I don't know how long that's gonna take. Robertson was also very good. Salah, leading from the front. Darwin also could have scored a couple or a hat trick, hit the post twice. Yeah, it was a good performance because Villa was a team that many thought that okay they could cause Liverpool a trouble, but it was not like that. Liverpool kind of and with the new signings coming in, the players and stuff like that. Yeah, it is looking bright. It's looking bright in our side, to be honest. I'm up there. I'm happy with what I saw so far in the season, and we have some difficult fixtures to play. We went to Chelsea, we went to Newcastle, and then we entertained Aston Villa in the first four fixtures. Three of these four fixtures were very tough. So yeah, it's looking nice. The clean sheet, yeah, I was surprised too.
Yeah,
I was not expecting it.
Okay.
Chelsea. Let's talk about Chelsea a bit, but before we go.
Chelsea, they lost, man, to Nottingham Forest. I think the thing is
Nottingham Forest. What is wrong with them?
I think it has more to do with Nottingham Forest have improved a lot. When they scored 2 goals by like quickly against us, we were all laughing, right? Oh yeah, ManU is in shambles. Now they beat Chelsea. So what are people saying about this? And away, Chelsea.
It's a Stamford Bridge.
Yeah,
but so, one thing I want to point about Chelsea. I think I shared one graphic in the Koto Classic. I don't know if you saw it. Where they compare the field tilt. Field tilt is a metric that measures the amount of possession you have in the final third of the pitch. Like, if you divide the pitch into 3 thirds, the attacking third, that is the where the goals happen and stuff like that. How much possession you have there compared to your opponent, how much you have the ball on your opponent on your half. So Chelsea, they are the best in the league when it comes to possession in the final third of the pitch so far this season. And then you look at the chances they have created. They have created an XGD, which is the expected goal difference of at least 1 per game. So that means in every single game, at least on average, they're expected to win 1-0. But they have lost so far 2 games. They have drew 1 game. Like, their numbers is reminiscent of Arsenal and Manchester City. To tell you how good their numbers are, how good Manchester City have been so far. Chelsea are like matching those numbers in terms of underlying numbers. But they are not converting. The problem is Michael Jackson. Yeah. Michael is not scoring their chances. Michael Jackson, he has the most number of big chances in the league so far. He has the most more than Haaland, and then he only have 1 goal. So Haaland has 6 goals already. So you see, he's turning out to be a Darwin Núñez or a Timo Werner. I don't know what.
I think the potential is there. He's raw, but he needs more experience. I feel like if Chelsea want to move forward to have any chance of finishing anywhere near the top 5 this season, it's either they are patient with him, or Nkunku comes back from injury and takes up his place as a striker, or they get a striker in January. That's the only way. Yeah,
he missed a big chance too. I guess very good one.
I saw it.
The one he skied.
mean, you know.
But yeah, like you say, he's a good player. He's our brother. He's a brother from Gambia, of
he
course.
needs to improve. He needs to improve. Last but not the least, Brighton Newcastle. They beat Newcastle 3-1. Very
Wow,
shocking
what an
result.
impressive performance.
Very
What an
shocking.
impressive performance.
You know, I feel like Newcastle, Sven Botman is the core of that defense. Since he's been injured, they've looked a bit shaky. Maybe that's just me. That this is my observation about Newcastle. Because when they signed Sven Botman, I was like, man, this is a very good signing for Newcastle. And you can see the difference when he came. He's a very old school, staunch defender, those kind of defenders, no nonsense defenders. And he's injured, and they are not coping with him pretty well. I feel like Brighton were obviously really good. You know, that's Brighton, of course. I think they've taken it up a notch this season with the way they attack and the amount of like free flowing football they are playing. And Ferguson, even though he scores three goals and then gets injured, he's a bright star, a future star, honestly. You know.
He's a really good player. Hat trick in that game.
Different
He's
goals,
just
like, man,
he's just 18 years old. Don't forget that. He's just 18.
I know.
That is scary. That is very scary. Yeah. That Ferguson guy. Yeah. Liverpool wanted to sign him before he moved to Brighton. Then he went there. I saw but Chelsea will come back and 150 or 200, and then
even ManU. Actually, ManU announced that we are going in for him next season, something like that. So we are getting excited.
They are saying that.
Yeah.
You need that, but you have Højlund. I don't know. That's how that's gonna work.
We need two strikers. I was expecting we have.
You need two big strikers, two expensive,
more mature, experienced striker, and then a younger one. We can't have two young strikers. But yeah,
but also he's good. He's good. His hat trick was very good. Left foot, right foot, and then taking like top shot from range and things like that. His finishing was very good.
Yeah.
Also, let's just mention other results like Luton, West Ham today are doing very well. Everton and Sheffield deserve a mention. Cameron Archer, he scored a goal, got an assist in his debut for Sheffield United. He's a 4.5 million striker. So for those having Haaland, Cameron Archer is an exceptional player to have in your team because he's very cheap. He's the cheapest you can get, And Brentford, Mbeumo scored an exceptional goal in that game against Bournemouth, 2-2. And then the Crystal Palace also 3-2. Eze finally come good, finally get his goal. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to our teams. I had 65 points. Obviously surprised that the average point is 72, which is really high, man, honestly. I think this is all Haaland's fault, but yeah. Anyway, I think it's time people start playing, like you said, the FPL properly and start playing with 10 men and just forget about Haaland this season.
Just captain and forget. And play with the others and try to beat others from that 10. That is the way.
So my team as it stands for Game Week 4, I had Onana with 0 points. Obviously, we considered 3 goals. Excuse me. In defense, I had Chilwell.
And he got a yellow card too, right?
Got a yellow card, yeah. I mean, I'm really considering trying to get somebody else. I mean, in his position right now.
You fed up with him
later on. Chilwell 1, Estupinian 2, Baldock 1, midfield Bruno Fernandes 2, Sterling 2, Rashford 7, Saka 4, Foden 5, Nicholas Jackson 1, Captain Haaland 40 points. I think the only return that I had was Rashford, so and maybe Foden also, but the rest, man, terrible.
Don't allow me to beat you without Haaland.
It's been terrible. The midfield, like where the points are supposed to come from. If I look at my team, they're supposed to get points, but the points are not coming. That's the funny thing.
They're not coming.
They're not coming, man.
Don't let me beat you without Haaland. That will be bad.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know. Right now, I'm not looking too confident, man. To be honest. Game week rank of 7.5 million, and then
that will be a big achievement for me.
I know. Well, I don't think it's gonna happen, but yeah, I'm not looking too confident. My rank has fallen down to 4.3. I think from 2 point something. I can't really remember the last. What was my rank? The last game week. Never mind. Game week rank of 1.6. Anyways, moving on to your team.
Quick one, huh? Yeah, I got less points. I got 58 points. Of course, no Haaland in my team, and that is the disaster. I had Tuna coming on for steal, which was nice. I got that 5 points. The Chelsea clean sheet. Chilwell, Trent, I got that 12 points. So I enjoy
Oh
those,
yeah, yeah, you
those,
did, you
those
did.
those points that people are not getting. I had Estepinan with 2 points. Buemo, 8 points. Sterling 2 points. Saka 4, 14, 5. Salah, I captain Salah with 16 points, and I
Yeah,
Wisa
bad.
and Jackson both blanked with 2 and 1 respectively. Yeah, it was a bad one. I dropped from 600K to 2.2
2.2. It's
million.
so crazy. Look at this.
Yeah,
Look at that. Man,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Haaland. It's Haaland.
the
Haaland did
points
all that. But
differential
at
is.
least, at least I was thinking. I was ahead of the game. I was thinking, okay, who to captain? I jumped from Foden. I jumped from Starling, and then I ended up okay. Let me just give it to Salah, and
He returned,
at
man.
least I was having that kind of thought, which really I enjoy. I enjoy that, but I don't enjoy not having doing well, to be honest. But yeah, Haaland just don't make the game fun for me.
I
So
know.
let's see.
So moving on quickly to Koto Classic Mini League. Things are heating up, man.
Mhm.
We are not representing as well as we should, in the league. So yeah, I'm all the way down there. You can't even see me on the first page of that of the league. 130 position with 222 points overall. You have moved. I think you were 30 something, and now you're at 66 with 241
Yeah,
points.
yeah.
And then our manager of the week is Free the Meadows, Connor Evans with 100 points.
Mhm.
So I mean, 100 points in a week where the average is 72, and most people have red arrows because that average was
Mhm.
so high. I think that's quite good, definitely. So congrats, Connor Evans. I mean, for being the
Connor.
manager of the week. So
My
moving
ways,
to
my ways friend.
oh, you know him?
I know him. We play the draft league here. That
Ah,
draft league I told you I played with
okay,
them.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Free the Meadows. And looking at our leaderboard, we have some movement up there, the top five. Yeah, moving to fifth is Roy Hobeka, Game of Throw-ins with 270 points. And also moving up to fourth is AY Roger. You remember this name?
yeah,
It's a new thing.
yeah.
Always making a first, what do you call it again? Appearance in the top five. And moving down to second is A Team, Ahmed Tijan Suleiman, also an ever present in the top 10.
He was number
And
one. Yeah,
moving up to second is Sneaky Feelings, David Ellis with 274 points as well. And our
five
main
second.
man, he
Yeah,
should definitely come and visit us on the pod one of these days. I don't know how he's doing it.
definitely.
We don't know what kind of strategy he's using, but Bernard Gomez has moved to first. BK City, 277 points. So yeah, things are
BK,
looking rosy for him this season, man. He's
definitely.
smashing it. He's smashing it definitely.
Yeah, he's a top manager. He manages his team well. He has his
His
very safe and
tactics, yeah, way of doing
wait
things.
for his moments to try his things. But yeah, he don't take any too much risk.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a top manager, and
Safe
yeah,
manager, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
Safe, but calculated safe, I would say, because he sometimes, those moments he tried to capture them,
Mm.
like those little players here and there. But the general safe picks, you will always see them in his team.
All right. So
Mhm.
well done, Bernard Gomez being the number one. Moving on to number one. Okay. So
Mhm.
moving on to our fan corner. I think I'll start
Yeah.
with ManU. Let me breathe. Um, if you're a ManU fan, you have been suffering the past 2 weeks. Things are not looking good, man. The season hasn't started well for us. I don't want to be spending much time on this. Um, it's too much to talk about right now, But I'll just give
Mhm.
the general highlights as things stand so far.
Yeah.
So as you can see there, Anthony, the Brazilian that we signed from Ajax, he's undergoing. He's been suspended by the club, also first by his national team because he's pending an
Mhm.
investigation into some domestic abuse that were levied against him. So he's been suspended. That is one issue. Another issue with the same winger or wing that we have in our club Sancho also had a public spat with the manager. The manager called him out in the press conference that he wasn't training well. That's why he wasn't in the team. He was dropped. And Sancho immediately came out with a
Reacted
statement
to that.
on Twitter, saying that basically saying that what the manager is saying is not true, lies. So I think they had a kind of like a head-to-head, or let's say a meeting on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, and then I don't know what the agreement was, but he has since taken the post down because the post was there for like almost 2 weeks. The whole international break was there up until like yesterday or so, and then he took it down. So maybe they have come to an agreement that okay, you're gonna play, and then maybe in January, if you want to leave, you find a club and you can go. But he can turn it around himself. Like initially, I was reading all his comments, and I kind of gave it, I kind of give it a more general thought and sort of maybe he's a good player. We didn't buy him when he was a bad player. He looked like a world beater at Dortmund, and then for some reason or another, maybe the work ethic, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Maybe that's why because Erik ten Hag has high standards in the team. Nobody is exempt. Even Marcus Rashford was late for a few seconds for a meeting, didn't play the game. So standards are supposed to be set. Nobody is above the club or So I think that was a good call by Erik ten Hag to drop him. So my main guy, Pelestri, he's also a young winger. Was supposed to go out on loan, did not go out on loan, and now we have this issue with the team where the two wingers that are supposed to start ahead of him are having issues. So I think this is the best time to start him. He's more of an old type of winger. He's dynamic, goes into the box, crosses. The other two wingers that we have, they are more of the in-cutting. They don't really cross the ball into the box. And Haaland is also a new striker that we have. It's a type of like conventional number 9. He likes the rough play, the physical presence, heading ball. So I mean, it could work. So I want my coach to give Pelestri a chance and see if he can deliver. So it's an opportunity for him if things go well, unless Sancho comes back into the right and But yeah. Well, so things are maybe you can say have not been good for my team past 2 weeks. But we can see a small bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Bruno has been doing well internationally, even though he's not on the they smashed. Which team did they smash yesterday also? 9-0?
Luxembourg.
Oh man, it was rough. Yeah. So that was bad, man.
I saw the United fans in the Go to Classic group, coming up with the most
the
Bruno
stats. I mean, it's Luxembourg, but still, 6 games.
Luxembourg, they are a team that always, add up numbers, but I don't think they win.
Part of the stats,
they can win anyone. Yeah, I don't think they can win anyone.
But yeah, Bruno
yeah, he's been doing well. To be honest, yeah, he's been doing well. Good, continue.
We have another my guy, Scooby Doo, McTominay, also scoring for fun. Whenever he goes on international break, he's like a different player. He scores in the first game. He didn't score against England, but he scored in the first game. So I think he was joined top scorer before Lukaku played. I think with 5 goals. Him and Haaland, I think, had 5 goals. So yeah. The international break was good because the game against Arsenal, I think that was confidence destroyer. But maybe the break gave the team a bit of confidence. So coming back against Brighton, I hope we'll do well. Definitely. So yeah, small bit of positive for the club. Yeah, you had a question about my club. Anything you want me to give my insight on or personal opinion?
No, I wanted to add about the transfer window. Yeah, the transfer window has completed. Of course, you guys have brought in quite a number of players. What is the general feeling from your side?
Personally, in my opinion, I would say it was a bit underwhelming. If things happen like quickly and we had the players that we're supposed to have that we targeted, if they had come into the team way in advance before we went for the preseason, I would say it would be the rating would be much higher than what I have it. For me, I have it at maybe 4 or 5 over 10. We missed out on King Min Jae, who was a defensive backup for Rafael Varane. We all know Varane is always injured. So there was a reason why the coach wanted him, and he was, I think his contract expired, and he had like a what do you call it again? He had a clause, a release clause. He had 1 year or
Plus,
so, 1 year left. So his release clause was open for a period, which Bayern took advantage of. So we were speaking to him, but we couldn't make anything happen, initially. So I think that was one we missed out on. We missed out on Harry Kane. Obviously, that was going to be difficult, to be honest. It was going to be a very difficult move to do because of, we all know
yeah,
Levy doesn't
yeah,
want to sell to a rival,
realistically, that one was
obviously.
difficult.
Yeah. But still, we could have
Because yeah,
tried, man. Like, we don't mind. Like, at least try. But we came out and said we are not going to involve in any type of, whatever bid for the player, which I feel like is a bit of a letdown. Another midfielder that came in deadline day as a loan option, which we should have bought. He waited like about a month or so plus for us. Rejected every other transfer because he felt like ManU was the club he wanted to play for. But the way we played it, he could have gone to any other club, being frustrated. Amrabat, and we need him in the midfield. We already saw that we need somebody else in the midfield. Like what the coach was trying to do in the first 2 games did not work out with Mount. Even though Mount is injured, we hope that things will develop more now that we have a bit of stability with Amrabat coming into the team. Højlund, he's a striker that we have been wanting. That profile of striker we've been wanting in the team for a while, because we know Marshall is a different type of striker, but Marshall is never fit. He's always injured. So, and we can't pin all our hopes on a striker who's like 21 years old. I think we needed 2 strikers, even an older one who's more experienced, and then we have Højlund, so that we can ease him in slowly into the team. So all in all, I think it's a 4 out of 10 for me, man, honestly. And don't even talk about the outgoings. All the players that we sold them for way below their value, like the Freds, and who else did we sell? This guy that went to Nottingham Forest, what's his name again? Forgetting his name. Elanga. All these other players, like Van de Beek is still there. He refused to go on loan or whatever type of transfer that he was supposed to go on.
You got allowed 15 million for Elanga, didn't you? That's a good sum, I think.
Man City are getting like 40-something million for this Cole Palmer, who hasn't even played like 2 or 3 games in the Premier League. Elanga was like playing every week under Solskjaer.
That was under Solskjaer. But like, he should have been a better player, I feel. But I think they are 2 different type of players if you look at them. Cole Palmer is a player with like massive potential. They say, okay, this player is going to break into Manchester City, and then all of a sudden, Pep, he has an agreement with Pep. Pep is not going to give him the minutes that he wants. He decided to leave. Elanga, he bust on Solskjaer's period, but then since what's his name, Eric Ten Hag came in, he has kind of become a bit part player. No more like that player who will become something. So, like, the trajectory of the 2 players, I think, is different. I think Elanga at United, he's going down, like, in terms of where he was at Solskjaer's time, and now he's going down. But for Cole Palmer, I think he was progressing up. So that is also important when you're talking about it, selling the player. It's about the peak. Okay, this guy is approaching top, and this guy is approaching down. So that kind of also, because Manchester United did not want him, the coach did not want him. For Cole Palmer, it was not the case of the coach did not want him. The coach did not guarantee him that he would play. He's ready yet. Just like Foden. There was a time Foden, we all know where he was heading to, but Pep was not going to give him the minutes at that time. So if he wanted to leave at that time, maybe Pep would have sold him or stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. But I feel like our transfer team, the outgoing, we're not really good at selling players at all.
Yeah.
We are not good at selling players. That is one, because we had funds to spend. We spent all these funds with the goalkeeper, Mount, Ireland. It was about what, almost 200, even close. So we could have sold more and then had enough money to buy Amrabat outright, and maybe even go for another striker, if not Kane, somebody else who is in that same frame, that can partner Ireland in as an experienced player. But we don't.
Definitely. But also, I wanna add something. If you look at Mount and Højlund, you have not seen much of them yet. Maybe the goalkeeper, what is his name?
Oh, you mean in the team, in the ManU team?
Yeah. Generally, I mean generally, you have not seen much of Mount yet. You have not seen much of Højlund yet. Other than the cameo against Arsenal, you have not seen anything of Højlund. Onana, since he came in, he has done well. So for him, people are seeing the promises. They are seeing what they were expecting to see from him. But from Mount, you have not seen it yet. From Hoyland, you have not seen it yet. And Amrabat is a late signing, like you say. So maybe that is also the reason why kind of you are not feeling optimistic about the signings.
Maybe.
But if they started well, you know, like for a Liverpool case, I'm not happy with the transfer window. Maybe I'm not so much different from you for Liverpool case if you come to Liverpool. But like Szoboszlai, the impact he's having in the team, McAllister, the impact he's having in the team all of a sudden, you know. And then even Endo, he did not do well, but he was a cheap signing. And then Liverpool have started the season well. So the midfield changes we have, selling Henderson, selling Fabinho, and then bringing these two players, and then all of a sudden they have improved what we are doing. So we already saw what they can do. So it's easy for us to say the transfer window is good for us. But for me, there is some players missing that I wanted us to address. There's some position that I wanted us to address. But in terms of the players that came in, I am quite happy with what I saw from them. So for you, you are not yet happy with what you see from Mount for in particular.
Mount in particular, yeah, I think he needs more time because he had a bad season with Chelsea, you know, and I feel like what the coach is trying to implement in the team is going to take time. But whilst it's taking time, at least we have Amrabat to play like a double six with Casemiro that can give us that stability. Yeah. Because right now our whole back line, apart from Dalot and Wan-Bissaka, are injured. See the problem? I don't even know about Martinez, whether he's confirmed or not. Lindelof was also injured.
No, I think he was Martinez. No, the other one. Lautaro Martinez was on the bench for Argentina. Not your Martinez. What is his name again? What is his first name?
Who?
Martinez.
I forgot his first name.
Lisandro
Martinez. Yeah. So he was also Martinez, Varane, Shaw, Malacia. 4. Let's say 3 of our back. 4. 3 defenders are injured. So I mean, if you look at it in the whole context of the things, like we are suffering defensively. So if we have that shield in front of the defense now, we can make do until those people are back, and then we can start developing again. But let's move on to Liverpool. So as you can see, your main guy, Mr. Salah, nominated for Ballon d'Or.
He has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or, and of course, the transfer window is closed. The Saudi talk is done now.
Finally,
but it's not dusted. It's not dusted. It's not dusted because I'm sure they will come back again.
Yeah, you guys can breathe now.
Yeah, we can breathe. But yeah, like I always say, for me, like if we are gonna sell him for those crazy kind of money, to be honest, I'm not worried too much. I know he's exceptional. He's somebody I love so much. When I see him play for Liverpool and stuff like that. But there are some crazy amount of money that will come as long as they invest that money back to the club, back to the team. I don't mind, But yeah, he will go eventually. I think he's approaching that time. He's 31 years old now. Next summer he will be 32. So he's approaching that time where he's selling. It makes sense to sell him. But for now, we still have him, and he is continuing the good form that he left. I think now 10 games in a row, he is scoring or assisting. If you extend it to last season, 10 games in a row, Salah is scoring or assisting in those games. And yeah, he's taking the mantle, he's taking the leadership in the team. And yeah, rightly so, he has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or in the top 30, of course. Not the final shortlist, but top 30, which is very good. I think he started the season very well and leading by example up top. Creating chances, especially his creativity has really improved this season. But yeah, I'm happy that he's not going. I'm very happy that he's not going. But yeah, like I say, I wouldn't have mind to sell if the money was that crazy. Yeah. But yeah, like we say about the transfer window, I think exactly. Oh, you want to add something about Salah before I go to the transfer window?
I mean, the money was crazy, man. I think they were talking about some 200 million or something like that, out of some crazy figure.
For the next bid, but that bid never came. That second bid
never came. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you think?
Yeah, it was just being spoken of. It never came.
Do you think if they had offered 200 million, you guys would probably okay, we need to discuss this?
No, to be honest, I don't think the club would have sold. Would have sold him. To be honest, I don't think even if they come with 300 million, the club would have sold. Because the club were categorically in the position that they did not welcome the bid. So we're not gonna sell him because it's too late for them to replace him and stuff like that.
That's what my next question was going to be. Do you think if it was earlier in the transfer window and they came up with that offer, do you think you guys would let him go?
It's difficult to say. It's difficult to tell right now. But if it came maybe before like anything happened, like in the early, very early,
Let's say in
maybe the
June,
club
yeah.
would have
Actually,
considered it.
early in
Would have
July or
considered it
something
more,
like that,
just like they considered the other moves like Fabinho. But those players, the way we view them and the way we view Salah is quite different. You have to factor in that. And like we know, Salah is the biggest name in Arab football. It's the biggest name from African football right now. Of course, Mane will rival him, but the bigger name is Salah, obviously. So the Arab, they will come back. They will come back for him. They will come back. And it is more than just football. That is so political.
That's the
that
thing,
situation is so political.
Exactly.
It's Saudi and Saudi versus Egypt. Saudi trying to take this Egyptian player to that. It's political. I'm not into these political things, but I've read about it.
Yeah.
So they will come back for him. They will come back for him definitely. And if they come back, I'm sure Liverpool will consider it. And even if we lose Salah for free, he has done enough for this club.
So.
He was bought for a very cheap. Yeah, so whatever we get right now from him is a profit. So that 150 million was going to be a bonus or a profit or something like that. But yeah, at least we will get to enjoy him this season. And at least I have something to fight against Haaland. I don't know how much he can help, but I have him to fight against Haaland when it comes to that thing. Yeah.
Okay, so your transfer window, you have 4 players here. Like you were saying before, that they've already made an impact. Apart from Gavin Bench, of course, who hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
How would you rate your window so
far? Yeah. To be honest, when we sold Fabinho, when we sold Henderson, I was expecting for us to, because we already had Szoboszlai and McAllister in by that time, when we sold. So I was expecting a defensive midfielder to come in. And of course, rightly, they brought in a defensive midfielder, an experienced one for that matter, Endo, which I like. I like him. I like him, to be honest, and because he will give us something and experience and stuff like that, blah blah blah. But like the caliber we were expecting and the caliber we are looking at, for example, Caicedo in particular, I think Endo is nowhere close to that level. But when we realized that we're not going to have him, the club decided, okay, let's go for something else, and they decided to go for Endo. And once they get Endo, the club decided, okay, since the market is going to be very volatile when it comes to buying a defensive midfielder this summer, like I was hearing like 70 million for Doucouré at Crystal Palace. I don't know what that player has done to worth 70 million.
That's what I'm saying. It's always about the precedence. Like once a player like Declan Rice went for 100 million, that's everybody else is going to be around that price. It doesn't matter if they are good or they are bad. That's just the way
they are bad.
Yep,
exactly. Look at the other one. What is his name? Paulina at Fulham.
Yeah, they were.
Bayern agreed, and then last minute, Fulham decided, okay, no, we're not gonna sell him, and it was about 50, 60 million deal. It was a massive money for them, but because they could not replace him, they say, okay, this is not enough for us to sell him.
Okay.
So that's why Bayern, in the end, but before that happened, Liverpool had already taken Gravenberch from Bayern, so there is no going back for Gravenberch, So we are very lucky there, because I'm sure if that deal fall off earlier than we bought Gravenberch, they would have pulled the plug on Gravenberch. So, but on like generally speaking now, on the transfer window, in terms of the additions, I'm very happy with all the additions. Even Gravenberch, I'm very happy with him, because this is a player. Last season, you can go and check TiVo football. He was a player that was considered to be an exceptional player and a generational talent coming up at that time. Then Bayern signed him. Like Man United, we are looking at it. Liverpool, we are following him since then. Liverpool, we are following him since then, but he chose Bayern over Liverpool. And then he went to Bayern. It did not work out for him. He is still, 20 years old or something like that. He's still very young. 21, I think. 21 years old. So he's very young. And after that, I go and watch all those things. I just try to forget what happened from this last period. I just see that as a, maybe a blip in his career. So, and Klopp likes to work with this kind of projects. He likes this kind of projects where, when everybody thinks you are bad, then he revives your career and stuff like that. So I'm quite excited about his signing. Yeah, four midfielders coming in from the midfield we had last season. That midfield that was almost dead. Losing Henderson, losing Fabinho, of course, experience. We lost that, but in terms of quality, we have added better quality, not defensive midfield wise for both, especially for Fabinho's case, but in terms of what he had last season. Like it was not something that we're gonna miss this season if he was gonna give us similar type of performances. So yeah, I wanted to see us sign a more established a better defensive midfielder. But the reason why they don't sign, I completely accept it and I completely understand it, because for me, I'm not like at all cost. I'm not that type of person who say at all cost I get this player. No, it has to make sense. And there is no defensive midfielder out there that makes sense to pay
right now.
70. Doucouré does not make 76, 70 million. Like, it does not make sense. Just like Lavia, I see it. For me, to get to 60 million, it did not make sense to me. So, because I think, like the kid we have, Bicetti, if he is fit, Lavia is not better than. That's just my opinion. That's not just my personal opinion. And then who else do we go with? We don't have it. Okay, now hold yourself and then, find other solutions inside. I mean, I'm always happy to find solutions within. I'm always happy to do that. So find all solutions inside and then see. And if you look at my target this season, it was just top 4, top 5 to be in the Champions League next season. So why would you pay 70, 100 million just to get it? I don't think we're gonna win the league, despite our nice start. I don't think we're gonna win the league, but we can compete for top 4. And even without signing a defensive midfielder, we can still compete. So midfield wise, I'm happy. But I would really wanted us to also add a left-sided centre back, because the system we are playing this season, Trent coming in as a midfielder, Robertson having to drop as a third centre back. I don't think Robertson is suiting for that position. So I would have been happy if we signed a left-sided centre back. So for me, like the transfer window is kind of average. It's average in my opinion, but the players have had a great impact. That's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah. So back to that was quite interesting. Back to FPL. So we've had 2 weeks of break, and then now we have to think about our teams again. We hope that there's no more disappointment, man. Honestly, things have not been good. It's been rough. At least we have our teams to focus on, even though not so much mine so far. Looking at the fixtures, pick out about 3 or so that you think might be something that we can capitalize on.
Yeah. For this game week, I think since game week 1, like I say, like before the game started, I already like I'm a crazy type of manager, because I have to like mark up my captaincy. So just to follow that trend, like I have already pinpointed Tottenham for this fixture as the team to target, to get a player from, and so to get my captaincy from that team, because of course this is what also not having Haaland does to me, because of you will have to think outside the box. You will have to think other players and stuff like that. So I've already pinpointed them, and this is a fixture. But that said, I think this is a very tricky fixture it's not going to be like Burnley. If you are expecting Son to come and score a hat trick, it will be you'll be very surprised. Like you'll be very disappointed, because Crystal Palace, Sheffield United are a team they're gonna sit back, and then
there's no space behind.
Yeah, and then Tottenham have to break them down and then create chances by that. So this game is more suited for players like Maddison, players like what's his name, Richarlison, because he's a box player. Like he likes to be in the box, even though he has a terrible start to the season. But this game is more of his game than a Son game, because Son is, he runs behind space,
running and then space behind, counter attacking.
So those kind of things. So, but that's the fixture I'm looking at, and the other fixture that I would say is could be very interesting is Chelsea, Bournemouth. Even though they have been good too so far this season, but they could be an interesting one. Yeah, Chelsea. I think this is the last chance for the Chelsea players. If they don't do anything, I think everybody.
We are all keeping an eye on them, man. This is like the last chance.
Last chance.
Honestly, I mean, Looking at the teams, I think the ManU Brighton is an interesting one, because on paper,
football-wise,
football-wise, Brighton don't keep clean sheets. Defensively, they're not the best team. They concede chances a lot, but they're also going to score. That's the issue I have. Like, if this game, like, I believe we might win, but there's going to be a lot of goals. and I want to be amongst those goals. So that's why I'm keeping my ManU assets, Bruno
The
and
double.
Rashford. Yeah, just keeping them. After this game, if I don't see anything that I feel like, okay, I think it's time to move on now. This is probably like their last chance. If they don't impress me, I think either one of them or even both are going to move on. I just move on to something else because the
Last
fixtures are going to
words.
change slightly, even though we still have good fixtures. But I feel like they're going to change slightly after this game, especially if we don't perform the way we're supposed to perform. So that's one. Um, the guy Newcastle Brentford Momo man has been destroying my my rank since the beginning of this season. Since I missed that because I went ahead with Mitoma. It was Mitoma Bomo, so I went ahead with Mitoma. It seems like Bomo and all the charts, all the stats, the XGs that you see, his name is up there as like the highest non-pen XG player in the game right now. And I feel like me moving to him now is just okay. Finally, I've given up. Let me move into him because the fixtures are not the best in terms of
Yeah.
in the midfielders that we have, the options that we have. You know,
Yeah.
with Spurs, at least Madison is one that I've targeted. But the problem is the next two fixtures against what do they have? Arsenal and I think somebody else.
Brentford.
Yeah, it's not the best fixture. So I'm keeping an eye on those two assets, Momo and Madison. But in terms of football, I'm thinking the Man U Brighton might be an interesting game in terms of the Man U assets. Also, even Pedro, since Ferguson is injured, we don't know how long he's going to be out for. Pedro might actually have a more
Ferguson,
stable. Sorry,
maybe that is a
Ferguson
transfer.
might.
Maybe that's an internet. Ferguson is international break injury. You know that international break injury. Players
Oh,
have international break.
precautionary. Yeah, you think it's precautionary?
Yeah, just precautionary, and they don't go to international break. That is
Okay.
international
Well,
break
if that's the
injury.
case, then that's fine. But yeah, that's why this week for me, I'm giving Pedro a last chance, even though he's on the bench anyway. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So I think those games, Everton Arsenal is an interesting one because
Yeah.
it's a derby, right? Everton they have been
No,
vocal.
no,
They've been.
it's not necessarily a derby. Everything is Liverpool derby. Everything is in
But for
Liverpool.
some reason, it feels like a derby to me because like Everton are
They,
always
they
up for a
always
game
play.
against
They always
Arsenal.
have a good game, right?
Yeah, it's always like a really good game. Even last year they beat Arsenal 1-0, right? I remember.
They beat Arsenal.
They
They
beat
might
Arsenal
agree
1-0.
2-1, right? Not
Huh?
them. I don't know. But that was the season before. They beat them in the last 2 seasons then.
So you can imagine, even last season, I remember they beat them, they stumbled. So I don't know, it's a bit up in the air for this season, especially Everton, the way they are playing right now, not the best. But you expect them to get a result against Arsenal. So we'll see. I don't have many
Definitely.
Arsenal players. I only have Saka. So yeah, watch this space and see how it goes. So jumping to our teams right now, I think I'll start with you, game week game week 5 team. Take us through your team.
Yeah, my team is still not set
Oh,
because
you're
as
still
usual,
debating it. Okay.
no, I was wanting to wait for the international break. Of course, because it was 2 weeks, so I did not need to make the I transfer. Even though I thought about Son, I wanted to bring Son, and I decided to let me wait until the transfer window. And now he is kind of a knock. He has a knee issue during the transfer. I saw him, his knee was iced and stuff like that. And they don't know what is the issue actually yet. But it
But he
might be
played.
just
He played
precautionary.
yesterday. He played yesterday. I saw.
Yeah, he played after the game. I'm telling you,
Oh,
after the
after the
game,
game.
that was what happened. I saw the news this morning.
Oh.
So yeah, but yeah, in defense, I suppose for now, my temporary team is as it stands is Turner in goal. He plays Burnley, so that's a good fixture, I think. Chilwell versus Bournemouth. Trent too is having a hamstring injury. I think he's injured, so he might have to go to the bench if but I will start him anyways. And if he doesn't play, then Akanji will come in. I have Saliba, and then in midfield I have Salah, Foden, Mbeumo, Sterling, and Saka, and up top Jackson and Visa. So the plan I have is to bring in Son if he was fit, or at Tottenham, because he was going to be my captain for this game, like I say. So who to get rid of was the question. I considered Saka, I considered Sterling, and I considered Foden. These are the three players. Even Buemo, I considered him at some point. So in my midfield, except for Salah, I think I considered every player to get rid of them for Son.
Yeah.
So I can do that move. The Buemo one is dead now because of the Son's price has risen by 0.1, so I don't have that money anymore, so I cannot do that move. But now the player I'm leaning towards is more Foden, because they play West Ham, and then Man City's fixtures are not
It's
gonna be
not the
great,
best, yeah.
and yeah, and then Man City, all their goals come from the strikers or stuff like that. So I think the other midfielders are better than Foden in the game, even though I love him more in terms of performance, in terms of player. But I think the other midfielders who are gonna get you the 90 minutes every now or every game, and they are gonna be the talisman. They are, even though Man City will play better, they will get more chances. But I believe those teams with less chances are better than Foden. So that's why I want to sell Foden for Son. But it depends on the news I get from Son. If not, if Son is injured, then I will have to think hard if I will bring Madison or not, or else I will just bank a transfer and then trying to find another captain within this team, which is very hard because everyone is playing away from home, which I don't like.
So I had a question. You think your team
Mm-hmm.
is solid for the next until game week 8, or do you plan on wildcarding anytime between now and?
No, I will not. I don't need wild because the wild card. Everybody is heading towards Liverpool. That is the wild card. If you listen to all the podcasts, everybody's telling you, "I want a wild card game week 8 because Liverpool have that swing coming in."
Mhm.
You know, because if you look at game week 8, Liverpool will play Brighton away, but after that they play Everton at home, Nottingham Forest at home. So the fixtures become so much better for Liverpool after they play Brighton away. So that is where people are heading to. I am already at a double
You
Liverpool
already are.
in
Oh,
my
okay,
team.
I see. Yeah, that's true.
So I don't need to go there.
Yeah.
I even heard people saying they're gonna sell Haaland now, so which is quite interesting. Whoa, James Planet FPL,
That'd be
James
interesting.
Planet FPL said he's considering taking him on. I tell him I'm already there. I'm already taking on the guy, man.
Okay. So moving on to my game week 5 team. Yeah, Onana is on the bench, man. I think
Why?
Tona Tona is in. I don't have any confidence of us keeping a clean sheet against Brighton, man. If we do,
Uh,
that's fine. I'll
uh,
be very happy, but I don't think so. So Tona is in against Burnley, and in defense
I
I
like the
have,
call though. I like the call. I
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
It's
This is what you do. If you have somebody better in a particular game week, you have to
yeah,
go for it. You
yeah.
don't just and to be honest, this game with Burnley, Tona at home to Burnley is better than
Mhm.
Onana at home to
I think so
Brighton.
too.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I hate benching my keepers, especially if they're like the first keeper. So now I'm considering, yeah, this is the reason why I even considered wildcarding in the first place. For 2 weeks, I've been considering wildcard because of it was like a rage decision because of how the game week went for me, game week 4. So
Uh-huh.
now I'm
Yeah.
taking the time. I realize, okay, you know what? Let me just give it one more week, and then I can, because looking at my players, they have good fixtures, especially for now.
Yeah.
Now until the next 3 or 4 game weeks. Then after, if things don't change, then I might consider wildcarding. But for now, I have Turner in goal. I have Chilwell, Estupinian, Guardiol. I was not happy with the fact that I brought Guardiol in. He only gave me one game week, which he didn't even get a clean sheet. And then last game week, he was benched. So it's not. I'm not happy about that at all, at all, at all. So I was like, okay. I was
Uh-huh.
thinking of getting him out and then bringing Udogi. You know, Udogi. Is it Udogi?
Good dog.
Tottenham. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the move
he's a
I'm
good
thinking of.
player.
Yeah, I'm thinking of making. Yeah, and then yeah, so we'll see. I might make the move or just give him one more game week and see if he plays, because I think Ake also had an injury, international break. I'm not really sure about that, whether it's confirmed or not.
With Netherlands.
Yeah, so Guardiola might be back in, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure about the injury for Ake, but I think I heard rumors or something like that, or I saw it somewhere. In midfield, I have Bruno Fernandes, Sterling, Saka, Rashford, and then Foden. And then up top, I have Jackson and then Haaland. Captain Haaland away though is a bit tricky. I don't see any other option that I have here that can replace him easy without me thinking about it too much. That's why the captaincy is on him for now. I might change
He's
it
a
to,
14
yeah, I
he's
might
a
change it to
14 million
somebody else.
player.
Yeah, I don't. None of my
He's a
players seem like they are captain material this week. That's the problem.
no, definitely.
Yeah. So
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not.
yeah, if I have
Unless
somebody,
you want to try your boys, which I know
no,
you
no,
will
no,
not.
I don't think so. If yeah, I don't, not now, not at this moment. Yeah. Not at this moment right now. I was even thinking of benching Foden for Joao Pedro. You know, like if things, you know, 'cause I'm expecting Brighton to give us a tough task at home. You know, the way because the way we are playing. So,
but yeah, but don't forget the full. Brighton also say Ansu Fati, who's gonna also compete for position
as a 10.
for Joao Pedro,
That's
which is also another concern.
Yeah. And he's also going to be a competition for Mitoma, you know.
Yeah.
And
But I think Mitoma is quite. I think Mitoma is safe because he's their main guy now.
That is man. Yeah. So that's my team. I might make a transfer, either Foden out or Guardiola out. Foden, if he goes out, Maddison is going to come in because I've always wanted to have Maddison because he's that constant in the Tottenham, and his numbers are looking great, to be honest.
Yes.
Or Udogi. I've always also wanted Udogi because he's really attacking, even though the points they look tempting with the 12-point haul the last time and stuff like that. But yeah.
Back-to-back assists.
Yeah. The only reason Guardiola might be out is because he was benched the last game. But I was really happy just having a Man City defender that is going to be keeping clean sheets. But yeah, that's the team. What else is there to discuss? I think we probably covered a lot of things, right?
No, yeah, I think we covered it. So yeah. Let's see what happens this week.
Football is back. Hopefully things pan out.
No, Premier League is back. Football has been going on.
International football is not considered football, man. I was so bored that I yesterday I just put the England game on here and I was doing my work on the side. I was like, yeah, man. Whatever.
You should watch the Gambia game, boy.
I think I'll probably watch it more. The problem is trying to find a place where it's been shown. That's the issue. Like you have to
It's streaming there. It's illegal. You have to stream it.
That's the issue.
Yeah. But Gambian football is growing, man. Gambian football is growing, and it's gonna make hell. Very soon you will start picking the Gambian players like Young Kwamite in your FPL team because he will come.
I hope so, man. That'll be nice. That'll be really good. So thank you guys for listening and for tuning in to the Kotu Classic. Please check out the YouTube page, Jollof Football Banter Bar. As always, we have more content in there. Gambian football is there. Like you saw, the team is qualified for the AFCON. So there are some, nice content on there for you guys to check out. Thanks for supporting the pod as always. And we are the Kotu Classic. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.